diablo aquí.
Venezuela has been facing a series of challenges that affect the lives of its population and have consequences for the region and the world. In this video, we will explore the causes and consequences of the crisis in Venezuela, as well as the international responses to the situation. Get ready to better understand this complex reality and its global implications. To stay up to date on more content like this and receive regular updates on what's happening in the world, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button and turn on notifications to not miss any new videos. Welcome to our channel. Let's contextualize the situation in Venezuela before the human, political, and economic crises that affected the country. It's important to understand that Venezuela used to be one of the wealthiest countries in Latin America, with an economy based on oil production. During the government of Hugo Chavez, who ruled the country from 1999 to 2013, Venezuela underwent a series of political and social changes that had a significant impact on the lives of Venezuelans. Chavez implemented a set of policies known as the Bolivarian Revolution, which included nationalizations of companies, social assistance programs, housing, health, and education to combat poverty and inequality. Although these policies brought some benefits, such as the reduction of extreme poverty, they also generated criticism from opponents and concerns about the economic sustainability of the country. After Chavez's death in 2013, Nicolas Maduro, his successor, assumed the presidency and continued the policies of the previous government. However, the country's economic situation began to worsen due to the fall in oil prices and the government's economic policies. From there, Venezuela plunged into an unprecedented economic and political crisis that still affects the lives of Venezuelans today. As mentioned earlier, the country's economy heavily relies on oil production, and the fall in oil prices in 2014 had a significant impact on the Venezuelan economy. In addition, the government implemented controversial economic policies, such as printing money to finance public spending, exchange and price controls, and expropriation of companies. These policies created economic imbalances and uncontrollable inflation that affect the availability of basic goods, leading to an increase in black market activity. The political polarization between the government and the opposition, the lack of dialogue between the parties, and the government's repression of opponents are some of the factors that contributed to the political crisis in the country. The lack of press freedom and human rights violations are also concerns raised by the international community regarding Venezuela. It is important to highlight that the economic and political crises in Venezuela are interconnected and reinforce each other. The economic crisis has affected the government's ability to provide basic services and food to the population, while the political crisis has led to an increase in repression and violence, further affecting the economy and the well-being of Venezuelans. The situation has worsened to the point of generating an exodus of millions of Venezuelans who have left the country in search of better living conditions. It is estimated that over 5 million Venezuelans have left the country since 2015 in search of better living conditions and opportunities. In addition, the crisis in Venezuela has also had an impact on the region and the international community. Neighboring countries such as Colombia and Brazil have received large numbers of Venezuelan immigrants, overburdening their social and health systems. The situation has raised concerns about regional security and caught the attention of the international community, which has implemented economic sanctions against the Venezuelan government. The international community has been seeking ways to support Venezuelans and pressure the government to adopt measures to solve the crisis. This includes the implementation of economic sanctions against the Maduro government, aiming to pressure the government to seek a peaceful solution to the political and economic crisis. Several countries, including the United States and European Union countries, have imposed economic sanctions against Venezuela, including restrictions on oil sales and access to the international financial system. These sanctions aim to pressure the government to change its policies and promote a peaceful transition to democracy. In addition, the international community has supported efforts to provide humanitarian aid to Venezuelans. International organizations such as the World Food Program and the Red Cross have been working to provide food and medicine to the vulnerable population. However, the international responses to the crisis in Venezuela have also generated criticisms and concerns. Some voices question the impact of economic sanctions on the Venezuelan population, arguing that they may worsen the country's economic situation and increase the population's suffering. Others point to the need for an internal political solution and highlight the importance of dialogue between the government and the opposition to achieve a peaceful and sustainable resolution to the crisis. The crisis in Venezuela is an example of the interconnection between economy, politics, and human rights. The Venezuelan economy's dependence on oil, along with controversial economic policies and a lack of political dialogue, led to a humanitarian crisis that has affected the country's population and had an impact on the region and the international community. Indeed, the international responses to the crisis in Venezuela demonstrate the importance of cooperation and collective action to tackle global challenges. However, they also highlight the need to balance measures to pressure the government and support the population, avoiding further exacerbating the humanitarian situation in the country. Indeed, the crisis in Venezuela raises questions about the importance of democracy, respect for human rights, and freedom of the press. The role of the international community should be to support these universal values and work to ensure they are respected worldwide. Indeed, the crisis in Venezuela highlights the importance of investing in sustainable and long-term solutions for global challenges. It is necessary to address the roots of the crisis, promote dialogue and international cooperation, and seek peaceful and sustainable solutions to ensure the safety and well-being of affected populations. The question remains, are Venezuelans happy despite all the problems they are facing? This is a difficult question to answer. Do you want to know which of the happiest countries in the world? Click here and find out. Click now.